Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today, Nick.
Nope.
And Brandon.
Hello.
We're here to talk about games and things. Seems like this is a very technical week.
I suppose so.
Yeah, this is a technical week.
Technical week. Lots of tech to talk about, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
Tech stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I only have movies, so I'm not going to go first.
No.
Yeah.
I ain't seen this movie. I want to see. I want to hear your
movies. This is a game podcast, Brandon.
I want to hear your opinion on this.
This is a game podcast. A game podcast you started, I might add, and you're like movies.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the movie, but I want to start out talking about games.
All right, because I heard this movie was shit, and I haven't watched it yet. So,
I have opinions.
Okay,
we'll talk about them. So, Nick, I'll make you go first.
You're gonna make me go first.
Yeah, I want to hear about your Switch stuff.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start with the Switch stuff. So, my girlfriend, we went out and we got her a Switch the day after Christmas because she was like, "Yeah, I got a lot of Christmas money," and she had been using my old Switch for a while to play because she was like, "Hey, Animal Crossing seems cool. I want to try it out."
Yeah.
So we find her a Switch OLED, which, by the way, those things are beautiful. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember if either of you got one.
My brother did. I went and bought him one, and then had to set it up for him.
They are very nice. Kind of wish I had that for the Animal Crossing setup, but I'm not gonna switch it over.
No pun intended.
So now I was trying to transfer over all of her save data, which is just her Animal Crossing save, to the old Switch to the new Switch. And I guess I don't know if I just completely forgot about this, but have you guys ever tried to transfer over Animal Crossing Islands before?
You had to get like a new tool for it, I believe.
Yep, there is an island transfer tool that both Switches must have downloaded. That way, you can send the old Switches files to the new Switches. Because, like, for some reason, they're like, let's just put the Animal Crossing data separate from everything else, even though it's like technically the same thing.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, God forbid people dupe their Animal Crossing items. We must protect them.
Let's inconvenience the general populace by doing this. Because God forbid somebody makes like a duplicate item in Animal Crossing. They're gonna come in and like shank you.
You can't have two festive trees.
No,
it's too festive.
That's too festive. Literally too festive. So I finally downloaded and did all that. However, I did break a Switch in the process because I thought I could use like physical Type-C cable to transfer the data. Can't do that. Luckily, I plugged it into the old Switch and not the new one because that would have been bad. So now I got to fix a Switch. So that'll be something to do some other time. But I'm not too worried about it at the moment. But yeah, that's like really just stupid and an inconvenient way to have to do all of that. Like, why can't it just transfer over?
Yeah, no, it's annoying. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
Even upgrading the memory in my Switch is very inconvenient.
Really?
Because it's like, well, you have the saves on the system, but it's such a pain in the ass to transfer over like the games. So I end up the last 2 times I've done it, I just re-download all of them.
Well, because half the time you can't even like store that like Nintendo's like, no, you can't put that save on something external.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
You can't like move the saves, so the saves just sit there. Like I said, I keep my saves on the system because it doesn't take up a ton of data, so that will just stay in the system memory, which I'm fine with. But then the last time I did it was 400 gigs worth of game data, and I was just like, I just don't have there's no easy way to do it.
No.
So it's just easier just to re-download everything and just prioritize the stuff that you're playing so it downloads first. And then hopefully, like I think last time I did, it took it like 3 days. Just downloading in the background.
Oh my God.
400 gigs is a lot of shit.
I know.
So,
well, if you get the Switch OLED, you can just plug that Ethernet port in and be like a little bit better.
Yeah, hopefully.
I will say the newer style dock is quite nice. It does cradle the Switch a lot better. It doesn't like knock around as much. What's interesting is how they handled the door on the rear. So like how in the older style it flaps out. This one literally just pops off. Then you click it back on when you're done. Yeah. And the dock itself just feels like a lot sturdier to me. So it's very nice.
I'm guessing not because of what you said you did to your Switch, but did you try your old Switch in the new dock, just to see how it feels?
I tried it, and I tried my Animal Crossing Switch in the new dock, and it feels great, nice and snug. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned expanding memory, because that also segues nicely into the other thing that I did.
Yeah,
which was I finally got a NVMe for my PlayStation 5.
Oh, there you go.
And I will say, I remember talking on the podcast before about how I upgraded my PS4's hard drive and how much of a pain in the ass that was. This, not nearly as bad, but also I think it's easier for somebody like me, because I'm used to installing stuff like this. I think your run-of-the-mill PlayStation user would have
your gamer dude, bro.
Yeah, I think they would have a major issue trying to do this, right? Because all right, so you pop off the bottom of the console where the disk drive is, or not disk drive is, depending on which model you have, and there's the M.2 slot. So all right, cool, that must be where this goes. Which, by the way, I don't think it ever clearly states, unless you look it up online, of how to install an NVMe for this thing. But it's necessary that you have a heatsink on it.
Yep.
So
it actually says it on the PlayStation site before you install it. So yeah.
But I feel like most people might just be like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to install this. I know how to do this."
Yeah, they are. But that doesn't mean they're smart.
I know. I'm just saying that they're stupid and just ripping it. So I bought a third-party heatsink for it. Popped it in. What I go with for the hard drive or the heatsink?
The third-party heatsink.
Hold on, because I just got it in the mail today. So it should be my Amazon orders. Oh, come on, Amazon. Come on. There we go. The brand is MHQJRH.
Okay. I'm going to have to have you link me this stuff later, because
I will do that. They also sell them in different colors as well, if that's your...
All right, cool.
I'll put it in the general chat.
Yeah, I'm very fond of different colors for my heatsink that I'm never going to see.
Of course. Yeah. And then if you're curious as to what NVMe I got.
Yes, I am, very much so, actually.
Let me see here. And I'll say it out loud.
Damn, you know what? That's purple. I actually kind of do dig that.
Yeah, I got the purple. I got this one. It's actually, is it on sale right now still? Yeah, it's on sale for $155. It's a Crucial P5 Plus.
Oh, Crucial's good.
Yeah. Has the correct read and write speeds. So, in my opinion, this is the cheapest that you can get into the game, because otherwise you're paying well over $200 for a Samsung, which was
the $142.49 one.
Yeah. So,
dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure this is in my computer right now.
The Crucial.
Yeah.
I might. Yeah. So yeah, it's $140. Well, it shows me $144.99. But I got it because it was on sale, and besides having to do the physical labor of having to put the heatsink on it and then having to actually physically install the hard drive and screw it in, which, by the way, it even got me at first, because when you open up the NVMe slot, right, it's a whole bar, and there's multiple screw slots, because I guess there's different size NVMEs. I thought it was one standard size. I don't know. I mean, my mistake, but I haven't seen that many NVMEs. So then I tried to screw it in with the screw that they gave me. Nope, big boo-boo, don't do that. If you look to the far left of the slot, there is a screw that it gives you with a spacer to keep it level. And that's the screw you got to use. You got to unscrew that, place it in the hole that you want to screw your NVMe into, and then screw it back in. So,
I see.
Yeah. But I think all in all, it took me 15 minutes to do it. And as soon as I turned my PS5 on, it recognized the drive, formatted it. It's available as a installation destination for games and such. And what's interesting too is typically when you install a hard drive, right, it'll be like, oh, this is a 1 terabyte hard drive, but then when you format and everything, it's well, it's actually 962 gigs.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it reads as 1 terabyte.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're putting that there just because people were stupid and be like, wait, this was 1 terabyte. Why does it say 960? Or if it's legitimately fully accessible. I don't know.
So my assumption, and I've seen this with other 1 terabyte, specifically from Crucial, actually, is they don't have software and bullshit on it. So it's just straight up an actual 1 terabyte.
I assume too, because right when I upgraded my PS4's hard drive, the firmware had to be installed on it, and like all the system stuff. Whereas like you can't replace the PS5's main NVMe, which holds all of that. So this is literally just like
that's soldered on the board, right?
Yeah. So this is literally just like slapping another hard drive into your computer, where like it is just there as more space. There's no bullshit on it. It knows how to access it, and that's it. So that's really cool. But yeah, so I got the NVMe in there now. I got, what's the base? It's like 800 and something gigs for the PS5. It's like some weird number.
Yeah, it's like 837, some shit.
875. So I have like just shy of 2 terabytes on
almost 2 terabytes, unless you have games on the other, and then you have like probably 1 terabyte.
I have like, I think I checked my main hard drive. I think I have like a third of it left.
Wow.
So I probably have like, I have like a terabyte and some change. But to be fair, I also try to manage my data. So like, if I play like a single player game and I finish it and I'm done with it, I just uninstall it. I don't bother keeping it on the drive.
You finish games.
I do. I finished Miles Morales. I was like, I finished and Metroid. And I'm like, I finished Miles Morales. I've done everything. I'm good. Uninstall.
Yeah.
I'll do the same thing when I finish Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Be like, done with it. Uninstall. Don't need it anymore.
Understandable.
So, but yeah, I will say, like, if you're computer savvy and know how to install stuff like NVMEs, you'll have an easy time doing this. If you haven't done anything like this before, I would recommend watching like a video on it.
The only thing I've never done is put a like one of those cases on, like what you're showing.
It's very easy, honestly. Okay. The cover I sent you, literally, it comes with 2 strips of thermal paste that are both like, there's plastic on both sides. You got to rip that off.
Yeah.
Put the thermal
paste. Is it a thermal pad then?
Yeah, it's a thermal pad.
Okay, cool. Nice.
So you put the thermal pad on the bottom of the housing, put the NVMe down, put the other piece of thermal paste or the pad on the actual heatsink itself, sandwich it together. There's 6 screws for either side that holds it in, and then you're done.
Okay.
That part's very easy. But like I said, if you aren't like, I know you'll have no problems doing this, Brandon, but like for those who are like not so tech savvy, I would definitely recommend finding like a video. I guarantee there's a bunch of good videos out there on how to do it. I would highly recommend that, just so you don't like break any of your PlayStation's internals, because
fair,
very easy to do. But yeah, so now I have more space on the PlayStation. Shit. What's up?
News as of yesterday: Pop Team Epic Season 2 next year.
Oh yeah, because they somehow got a Season 2.
Yeah. That's literally what the headline is. Crunchyroll literally wrote, news, Pop Team Epic Anime somehow manages to get a 2nd season in 2022. Yep.
So,
what?
But yeah. So now that's all cool and squared away. Actually, too, we didn't talk about this at all, I think. But I will delve into it just a little bit now, because we're on the subject of PlayStation.
Okay.
Did you guys see their official plates that they showed off?
I did.
No.
So they showed off some new colored plates for the PS5. Let me see here. I'll get it. I'll queue it up for Mike. They're all very nice looking.
Yeah,
actually.
I do.
But what's funny is I already have a set on pre-order from D-Brand.
Did yours? Did it get canceled?
No, they made a new style that doesn't infringe on the copyright, but is like just close enough.
Okay.
And
because the D-Brand ones look better, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it gets rid of those pop collars.
Yeah, and also like, these are way too expensive for what they are.
What's really cool though is the D-Brand one I got in the PlayStation Gray.
And that purple's really nice though.
Where the PlayStation logo sits on the actual PlayStation 5. I have a sticker that makes it look like the original PS1 logo. So that's like once I get the gray case shell in and combine it up with that, I think it'll look really cool. The purple looked really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'll be popping those cases off. Great. And doing that whenever that decides. I think that ships at the beginning of the year. But I think these are $50?
No.
How much are
they? $80.
Really?
Yes.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not really being that expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I remember them being very.
The 2 colors that they show off right now that you can get direct from PlayStation, the black and the cosmic red, are both $55.
They are 55. There has to be some form of backlash because my friend literally they had to have dropped the price or something. Because my friend showed me these the first time they came out, and he said, "Law PlayStation released their own, and they're like $80, making them $10 more than D-Brand or something." Because D-Brand was 70, right?
Yeah, no, D-Brand's I think was around the same price. It's just funny though because like they announced all the colors, but the only 2 colors that you can pre-order right now are red or black.
Yeah.
They don't have the purple, pink, or blue.
I want the purple. But I'm not going to get any of them. It sounds like whatever.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really need that expensive. But yeah, so those are the fun things I've been doing. I just actually got, because I got some Christmas gifts the other day, so I got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, so I'll start playing that soon.
I got Christmas gifts too.
I also got Guilty Gear Strive, so I can start playing that.
That's a good game.
I also got Returnal, Brandon.
You can play one of the better games released this year that no one's talking about because no one fucking finished it.
Yeah, I can play Returnal.
Well, yeah, it helps for Nick if you think he's going to do it.
Well, it's funny because I've been actually like cleaning my house like a madman for the past 2 days.
I don't think Nick can do it.
Oh,
throwing down the challenge. Yeah.
Challenge. No, I've actually been cleaning my house like a madman for the past 2 days. Not that it was messy. It was just cluttered from Christmas. And like my mom and dad like, hey, we haven't been in your house in almost a year. Like, we want to come over and see it all decorated. I'm like, great. Let me clean the house from top to bottom, I guess. So maybe I'll squeeze some time in tomorrow for games. We'll see. I'm not like feeling too hot right now. I don't think it's the Roni, but like I'm also like not feeling like myself. So I'm not like going anywhere or doing anything to be responsible.
Yeah, I'm not feeling.
It's probably just vacation fever.
I have like a sore throat and like some mucus, and I'm like, it's crazy because like my anxiety is like, damn, you got the Roni, but then in my brain, the other part of my brain, I'm like, let's be real here. That's the only thing, you're good, but it's also impossible to get a COVID test right now. So like, I can't settle that part of my anxiety break.
Oh God.
So yeah, unfortunate, but
I have sorry. Do you know who Nakey Jakey is, Nick?
The name's familiar.
He's a YouTuber.
That does things on an exercise ball.
Let me see here.
He put out a video 4 hours ago, and he hadn't made a video for a year.
Oh.
And it's on speedrunning, and it's really good.
Oh.
So there's that.
Very good.
Yeah. What were you saying again?
I don't remember. Something about COVID test. You can't find them. It's okay, though. But that's everything I've been doing, so I will leave the floor to one of you fellows.
I guess it's got to go to me next, because I actually have gaming stuff to talk about, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so let's talk about VR, Nick.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Nick, you have a VR headset?
I do.
I have 2.
You have 2?
I have 2.
Which ones?
So I have a Rift S, and I have a Quest 2.
Was the Quest 2 gifted to you?
Yes.
By whomst? Did they not know you had a Rift S?
Oh, no, they did.
Oh.
But also, they knew my computer was being shit and possibly could die at any moment. So they gave me a Quest 2 in case it does die. Okay. So I still can play some games and chill and whatnot. And Katie got one, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. First of all...
Not to like put whoever got this for you on blast. Are they expensive or just not expensive?
$300.
That's a damn good gift then.
Yeah.
So
I was like,
so
I saw the people getting them. Yeah, no, I've been seeing a lot of people getting them for Christmas, and I'm like, yeah, I guess $300 ain't like, I don't know.
It's less than the Switch OLED.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair, and you can actually get them on like the PlayStation or Xbox. So I mean, hey, why not?
Yeah, I already have a PlayStation and an Xbox, so you know. But I wanted to talk about the new state of VR, because I mean, this is the newest hotness in VR.
Yes, it is.
Do you know anything about this headset?
So I assume it's better.
Would you like to ask any questions? Also, that's the next.
Any questions?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't mean it that way, but that works.
So
unintended.
Here, I'll tell you what I know about it, right?
Okay.
I assume it's incrementally better than the Rift S. Nothing crazy, but like for somebody like me who has a regular Rift, it would probably be a big enough jump to pay that much money.
Yes.
I
with
know,
a caveat. I will say with a caveat, but yes.
I know it has the Type-C cable, so you can hook it up to your computer like a regular Oculus, which is also very tempting because literally it to me to play
I
Oculus
haven't used it that way, but I have hooked it up to my computer without a Type-C cable.
Oh, because I was gonna say for me to play Oculus, it's like me popping out of the pod in the Matrix because it's 2 cables running from the headset to the computer, my 2 sensors, and then everything else.
So you do know it's entirely wireless, right?
I do.
Yes.
Which is great.
All right. So let's run through a few things.
Yes.
First of all, you can have an automatic mode when you put on the headset, which is the stationary mode, which gives you basically a bubble instead of drawing like your space out.
Okay.
And that bubble is your play space and that sort of thing. So
cool.
It kind of like scans what's around you, and it's like, this is how far your bubble can go out without you smashing your hand into like your monitor or TV or something. So that's really neat. Next of all, I mentioned that I have played this using my computer games and that sort of thing. The stuff that's on my PC, I've played
without a Type-C cable, though.
Without a Type-C cable.
Interesting. I want to know more about that, actually.
They have something that's called AirLink.
Oh.
AirLink wirelessly connects it to your computer as long as you're both on the same internet connection.
Ooh, okay. Like that.
So I was on my 5G connection on both the Oculus Quest and my PC.
Okay.
And then if you have like a good enough internet speed, it's pretty much completely seamless, and it's like you're playing natively. So,
you're tempting me.
I have a really good internet speed of about 5 down, 5 up, 500 down, 500 up. I need to preference that. And as such, I was able to allow 200 down to the headset while using AirLink, which gave me pretty much consistent, always connected to my computer with no issue whatsoever.
Okay.
And I want to say there was no input lag, but I know that's not true.
It probably had like very minute.
But it was so minimal that like I didn't notice it. Like that's the main takeaway from it. If I was playing something like a music game, I may have noticed it more, but I was playing like shooters and that sort of thing, and I didn't have any issue whatsoever.
Okay.
So I played on my computer after the fall using my Quest 2 headset, sitting in the middle of my room without being connected to the like computer by a cable or anything like that, and it worked just perfectly fine. No issue whatsoever. It was great. I also hooked up to Katie's laptop, which is a 2060, and we use her laptop, and I played some of her games, and again, no issue whatsoever. And that was running off of Wi-Fi instead of the wired cable, which my computer has. So, like, my computer's hardwired, but hers was full-on Wi-Fi, just using the same 5G connection and allowing the 200 megabits per second for the AirLink stream, as they call it. But I mean, if that's a stream, then holy shit, I have like, take note, Microsoft and everyone else, because that's fucking amazing. So moving on from that, I guess I could talk about some of my likes and dislikes with this headset. So the things I like about it is it's very, very seamless with everything. Down to like, I could Chromecast onto my TV what I'm seeing in the headset, and then people can watch me. That's like an option with every single application in the headset.
Oh, that's cool.
You can also use that as a way of like streaming it. So like I can like cast it onto Google Chrome itself if I have a Chrome tab open, and then I can capture that cast with something like OBS. And I did like a little test with it, and it was pretty fucking seamless. It was very nice. Moving on from that, there's a promotion going on right now, which was a very good promotion, actually. Mm-hmm. Me and Katie got $120 in games for nothing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so if you and someone else like buy a Quest 2, or if you buy one and some random person online puts out their referral code and you use it, you just get $60 to spend on games from the get-go.
Oh, nice.
And so does the other person.
Yeah.
So we did that, me and Katie did. and we bought Demio, which is it's Dungeons and Dragons in VR.
Okay.
It's very, very cool. We also bought like games that we wanted. So like she bought The Waltz of the Wizard, which I want to talk about that because I have played that with hand tracking. And Nick, you know about hand tracking, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't need controllers, you just hold your hands out and it reads your actual. Yeah. So I played hand tracking games also. Hand tracking's fucking lit. It is sick. It is so cool. And then obviously, since it is a standalone product, a lot of people think like the actual headset's fairly closed off outside of doing things like AirLink. But they would be wrong because I actually did a lot of research on that as well. And there are things such as entire sites dedicated to App Lab. Have you ever heard of App Lab? Do you know what it is?
No.
All right, so App Lab is a side loader that allows you to side load like things, and like developers just upload their games and stuff. And here, I'm gonna post it into chat. It's in general.
Okay.
So here's App Lab, and you can just sideload these games. When you click the like for instance, click something that's free, and it also, if it has a Oculus page, it will just take you to the Oculus page, and it'll give you a warning. It's like, yo, we actually have been approved by Oculus, but not enough to be put up on the main store yet. So then you're just like, okay, cool, I give my consent, and then it's like, all right, cool, you can just download our beta. You can play games before they release and that sort of thing. So you can do that through here. And then there's another thing that is called SideQuest. And SideQuest is also super neat. This is just everyone's demos, everyone's mods, all these custom homebrew things that people have made for VR. And some of them cost money, some of them do not. A lot of them do not. And as such, you could just download SideQuest, hook up your headset with a USB-C cable to your computer, and then once it finds your headset, you can then tick the box for wireless, and then your headset will be synced with the program of SideQuest, and you could just download any of these apps, and it will go straight to your headset. Kind of like how Microsoft has like the things where it's like, you clicked on the website, all right, it's already downloading on your console. And that's essentially what you could do with this. And plenty of developers put their stuff up on here when they're like, yeah, I'm just getting started, tell me if this is any good. And then sometimes they even give people like free keys and stuff if they like support them, that sort of deal. So I played quite a few things through App Lab, more so than SideQuest, because I actually don't have a USB-C cable, like Type-C, for my desktop computer. I can't do that. I could do it with Katie's laptop, but I just haven't cared to. I've watched and seen many tutorials on how to do this, and it's super seamless, very, very easy to do. And I'll probably end up doing it for this MMO that's coming out in VR that's going to have like an open beta that you can download through here. But I'm hoping they also do it through App Lab. But I'll look into that and get back to you next year when it does its open beta. I'm gonna run through a few of the games I played because like I've got a lot of stuff to say about this. I hope I'm not boring anyone. I just think that like this is a super interesting console.
I'm genuinely interested because like I'm probably not gonna buy a Quest 2. It'd probably make more sense maybe for just wait till like the Quest 3.
Yeah, exactly.
But like it's cool learning at least what I could expect because like again, it's half the reason I don't use my VR anymore is because it's such a hassle to just get it going.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you a few things about getting this going. It is incredibly fast. Like this is like the kind of thing where I put it on my head and it's like, hello, I see you're back. This was your layout you had of your sitting space, and I see you're still in that space again. Or if you have the like bubble, like I told you about, selected as your option, it'll just be like, this is your new bubble, and it's like, okay, and you hit confirm, and then it's like, boom, you already could start playing games right away. Just that easy. There's even like a lock you can put on it, and I did. So like the lock shows you like a bunch of dots, and you just draw some kind of shape in the dots, and that's like your way of unlocking it. So I've like made up my own thing for that one. like in case my brother or something was like, I'm gonna go take the headset and do something with it. No, you're not. It's locked. You can't do anything on my account. You can't even like get on and buy things or anything without knowing what that lock code is, which is really good. I think that's actually very good, to be completely honest. So, there's that. Now, like I said, I'm going to talk about the games that I have played. So, I've played A Township Tale, which is very, very good. It is very weird. Think of something like what's the word I'm looking for? Think of something like Minecraft, something like Conan Exiles, something like Ark, that sort of thing. Now, don't immediately think that's what this is or anything. But you know how you have those Rust. You know how like you have those instances where you can have like a server that you can host and you can have friends on that server, but like the game has its own specific reason for existing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what A Township Tale does, and it is a RPG game that's also sort of like an MMO because you can team up with friends or randoms and go out and go questing and everything. And the whole point of the game is to go and get the items you need from fighting enemies or looting dungeons or going around to different places in the world and bring them back to rebuild your town. And the thing that makes this so interesting is the fact that it is in VR, because like you don't just make your weapon by being like, all right, I put it in a crafting bench and I did this thing and that thing. No, like you have to like choose like the toughness of your swords by getting the right material, and then you have to actually put them down on like an anvil and take like a hammer and actually hammer them out and shape your swords. And like if you're making like a backpack or something to carry your inventory, you have to actually get the sticks and stuff together and then hammer nails into it and put together like the exact items to make this stuff for your questing and your adventuring. So that element is kind of like a little mini game in and of itself, and I really dig the idea of that. Mm-hmm. Because like you have to get the materials, and then on top of getting the materials you have to learn how to put them together. So like putting together the materials with like a hammer and nails is like kind of like a little mini game in and of itself, and that's really cool to me. And then like going out and chopping down trees in different areas and getting the right kind of wood that you need to build towns and everything. Super neat, super cool. Very interesting and different game because of the fact that it is like just your normal Minecraft exploration, go into caves, go get this, that, and the other, and then build up your place. But what makes it different is the fact that you actually have to physically, in a VR space, build your items that you get when you get the like recipes for it and stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something different. It was only like $9, so like you get a lot of content for $9. So there's that, and I mean it's fully online. So me and Katie played some of that. Moving on from that, I also played Resident Evil 4. To be completely honest, this is the main reason I mentioned to someone that I kind of wanted this headset in the future, and I'm glad that they listened, was Resident Evil 4. And I don't regret it one bit. It's such a good conversion to VR. It feels like its own thing. It doesn't, aside from cutscenes, it doesn't feel like they just took Resident Evil 4 and put it in VR. It feels like it was built from the ground up for it, and I super dig that. Like the pistols and everything, Nick. Like you have like the little red pointer dots and everything, but in like VR you can actually see that shined on the zombies and everything in first person, and it's super good because it helps you aim. So I mean, you already had those dots in the game to begin with, so having that as a mechanic for the actual shooting in VR, because I don't know if you know, but shooting guns in VR isn't actually that easy. It's really not. But having that little laser pointer is a very good way to handle that difficulty of VR shooting, and it works very, very well. And it's not scary because it's Resident Evil 4, but it is like very stressful because like think of like the opening part of Resident Evil 4 where you go into the town for the first time and you see like all the cult people and everything, and they're like standing on the rooftops throwing sickles at you and all that. Now think of that, but you're there. and it's in first person, and you're having to run around that thing and collect the items that you need and kill the enemies and like jump through the windows, and it's pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun though. It's very, very fun. So that I would say was worth the price alone just to play that. And then I played a few other games. I played something that's called Golf Plus because I like golf. We've established this already. So it's online golf with multiplayer, and the plus aspect is you can purchase different courses that are modeled after real like PGA golfing courses.
Okay.
So like they like went and like 3D imaged, that sort of thing, like scanned it in and everything after taking pictures of the actual course, and then they designed the entire courses to be in tandem to be as close to those courses in real life in the game as possible, which is really cool, really neat, a very nice touch. So the plus is like we got some DLC you can buy for specific courses that are like ones that are actually licensed golf courses that you could go to in real life, but you can play them in this game instead if you can't actually go there. And it's neat. It's really good. It's a lot of fun, and they also have things like a putt like element to it, which allows you to learn putting. And they have a driving range, and the driving range allows you to like literally bring any kind of music in from like YouTube or whatever, and like listen to the music while practicing driving the ball. And it's just like a neat little social space, or you can play actual golf if you want. But I've only been using it as like a little social space where I've just been like chilling, learning the mechanics of golfing and like how the different clubs work and all that good jazz, and the best way to swing the club in VR while listening like music on YouTube. And it's been really chill. So I've liked that quite a bit. I guess other than that, the main things that I've done is, like I said, explored App Lab and learned how things work with this headset. There's a very big caveat, and I'm about to tell you what that is, Nick.
Okay, what is it?
So this headset's fantastic. It's got a lot of technology. It's very nice. It's very well made. But there are two issues with it. One issue, I think you can probably guess. I've told you how like technological this headset is and how very well made it is. So what do you think one major issue of this headset is?
Battery life.
There you go. You're looking at 2.5 to 3. This is the fact that that's kind of like a normal VR session in general. You don't want to put yourself in VR for a very long time. But then there are those games where you get like really sucked into them, such as like Half-Life Alyx or Boneworks or whatever, and you really just want to continue exploring that game. And as such, you're going to have a damper, put on your experience because of that smaller battery life. Granted, you could easily just hook it up to your computer and not have that battery life problem, or you could easily just hook it up to the charger and not have that battery life problem. But there's actually another thing that you could do. I haven't done this yet, but I've done enough research about the headset that I've looked at this and been like, that's an option, and I like that option. So, do you know like the Rift S's like knob, like headset dial and everything? I don't know if it's in the original Rift.
I wonder if it's a knob, but like, is that like I think it's like a slider for me where like you can adjust the eyes, basically.
Oh no, I'm talking about like adjust the headset, like the head strap.
Oh, I don't have knobs. It's literally just a strap.
Okay, so the Rift S has a like metal and plastic head strap that has a little knob that you can actually turn to have it fitted exactly to your head. And it's a very nice head strap, and I actually quite like it. That's one thing that I'd say it has over the Quest 2.
Okay.
And you can actually just buy that head strap for $109 to attach to your Quest 2. And I know you're saying, that's way too fucking much money for a head strap.
Yeah.
That's probably what you're thinking. What if I told you it also comes with a battery that's built into the head strap that when you attach it to the Quest 2, you've now got a nice head strap, and you've also extended your battery life by about another 3 hours.
Okay.
That's very fancy.
Let's say I'm with that.
So for $109, I actually think that's a really good deal. I've been doing a lot of research on this, and I might get it in the future. I might ask for like a birthday gift.
You know what I would have to do, honestly?
What's that?
Is I would have to try playing the Oculus by itself. And then judge there if I'm going to need the extended battery or not. Because I don't remember how long I've spent playing in VR.
Yeah, I understand completely.
Because I don't think I've played more than 2 hours of Beat Saber at a time.
Yeah, I feel you there. And I think that's why it probably works if you're just like casually using it.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But I think if you get really into something like a Township Tale, where I talked about an open world multiplayer RPG, where you're like, yeah, I want to continue playing this and whatnot, because I'm gone on a quest and I need to be able to get back and not have my headset die, that I think something like that, or something like Boneworks, which I think is natively supported by the Quest 2, which is insane to me. That game natively supported sounds absolutely batshit loco to me.
Okay.
And then the second issue, and I think this is my biggest problem with the Quest 2. So you've mentioned that you had a slider for like adjusting your, I'm guessing, eyesight, that sort of deal.
Yeah.
Pupil distance. So there are 3 default settings on the Quest 2 that you physically move with your hand, the lenses in the headset itself.
Yeah, I have that as well on my Rift.
With only 3 settings?
It's not 3 settings, it's like a slider, and it moves the lenses like on a Y-axis.
Yeah, so they're like 3 default settings, and like that's your option here.
Yeah, no, this is like a 0 to 100 adjustment.
Yeah, no, you don't have that here. So they've taken the 3 like best settings that they've found with people, and they've made those the options you have. So like depending on what the average pupil distance is, they've taken those 3 averages and they've been like this one, and those are the 3 choices you have. And if you have anything in the middle of that because you're fucking weird or you have bad eyesight and you don't wear glasses, a la me,
I do wear glasses.
Yeah, then you'll be fine with the glasses spacer. It doesn't cause Katie any problems. But I actually have fairly okay eyesight, to the point where it's not like bad enough for glasses, but in special cases like this, I should probably be wearing glasses, and I don't. And as such, you can have a slight after image. It's not very, very bad. And the only time you can really tell is when you're looking at text on the screen. And it's only sometimes. It depends on the lighting of the headset. Like the lighting, like how bright the sun is outside the headset, or any of the lights in your room outside the headset. That is the only real problem, other than the battery life, that I have with this, and that I think is one of the biggest issues I have. I do think it'll be able to be fixed with a better head strap, because I'm just using the default head strap right now. So probably if I get that like Titan headset, the headset that's like $109 with the tightener on the back and everything. If I get that comes with the battery pack inside of it, it will probably be a much better experience for me. Because my Rift S has the same problem, but due to having that knob, I can tighten it, which allows the headset to sit on my face at a much better angle for me, so that I don't have that after image in my Rift S. But my Quest 2, I don't have that option, so I do kind of have that problem, more or less. But it's not a big enough deal breaker that I'd be like, yeah, don't buy this. But it is one to actually mention and talk about, because it's definitely a deal breaker for very specific people. It's got to be a very specific person, though. Otherwise, it comes with a glasses spacer, and it comes with like a protection thing to put on the pad. So Katie's using that on her headset, and it's working great for her. I don't use that because it makes my face way too hot, and then I like start sweating a lot, and it's just not a good time when I'm when you're sweating inside of a headset.
I will say, good thing for me is I'm farsighted, right?
Uh-huh.
So I never play VR with my glasses on.
Okay.
And I've never like felt like I've needed to.
Farsighted is you can't see things that are up close, right?
Or I'm sorry, I always get them confused.
You're nearsighted, so you can't see things that are far away. That's sort of me. So you might actually have my same problem, but I'm not 100%.
I will say I mean, my eyesight is terrible for far away. Like it's, but
I can't read like a box that's like 10 feet away from me.
I will say that I remember when playing Half-Life Alyx that there were times where like I kind of squinted to see something, but like other than that, like playing VR chat, playing Beat Saber, like I've never actually felt the need to wear my glasses.
I would say those don't really have that issue as much as it is like very specific shooting games, such as like Pavlov, for instance, where they have an actual laser sight on the gun that like you have to close one eye and look down the sight in the actual game in order to like see things, that sort of thing. Or like, for instance, you may have had the same issue with Half-Life Alyx. You know the sight that you put on the pistol at the beginning, where it like makes everything orange unless like it has a hit spot that's like red, and then like it has a little dot in the center, but it's like a very specific point you have to hold it to be able to see that little dot. I had an issue with that gun when I was playing a Half-Life Alyx. I don't know if you did, or if you even made the gun that way.
I can't say I did. Like I said, I didn't really have many issues playing that game. So,
well, I mean, that's not an issue with the game. That's literally an issue with my eyesight. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have eyesight issues as well, and like I said, I don't remember ever having those issues.
So you did use the gun with the like circle at the end, where you like see the orange highlight of the enemies and everything?
Sure. I don't remember, honestly. It's
okay,
been so long.
All right, that's fair. I actually recently played that. That was one of the things I tested with AirLink, because I was like, hey, I want to play the most advanced game I can think of with AirLink and see how well it works. It worked incredibly well.
Yeah. Like I said, once I'm able to upgrade to a newer headset, then I guess we'll continue this conversation more so there.
Yeah.
But as far as like, and I mean, you gotta remember this too. Playing with my original Rift is probably like the lowest quality screen. Not saying that's low quality, but like in terms of like the jump from my Rift to your Quest 2, the screens inside the headset have gotten considerably better. Right?
Yes.
You have less of that screen dooring effect.
There's practically none in this. That's one of the major things. I'm like, this is really good.
Yeah. If that, I'm interested to see how much better my experience would be just off of that alone. But like I said, that's why I'm going to wait for the Quest 3, which is going to be a thing, and or who knows, maybe it won't be because they can't get the chips. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't want to do what I did before, where I bought my Rift and like a month later the Rift S got announced, and I was like, no, it's so much better. So,
holy shit!
What's that?
I did not know that the Quest 2 actually has a higher resolution per eye than the Valve Index.
Yep,
that's nuts.
Super nuts.
Yeah, because the Valve Index costs a considerable amount more. So. But yeah.
I guess that's just my whole thing about the Quest 2. I think it's an excellent product, like I said, with a few issues, but a lot of those can be solved by aftermarket products. So, like the headset strap, and that literally solved both my issues with it, probably.
Good.
So that's what I'm going to look into next, and then I'm going to report back. In the meantime, I actually got a new game that was given to me, all like gifting. I was gifted Stride, which Nick, if you haven't seen Stride, and you do get back into VR games, look into Stride. It is Mirror's Edge in VR.
Okay.
It's super sick. All right, that's the last thing I got to say. I'm done, boyos.
All right, I'll talk about my things, I guess. Okay. Didn't play much games this week, but I did watch some new things. So I'll start with Camp Cretaceous, because we talked about that, I think, when Dave was on.
Yeah, that was the Jurassic Park thing, right?
Yeah, they just put out a new season. Sometime this month. I can't remember when. But I did finish watching it, and I just wanted to say, A, it was excellent still. So if you were thinking about it before, I do still recommend it. But B, this season reminded me of Metroid Dread so much.
Okay.
It literally was Metroid Dread plus Jurassic Park. And yeah, it was very interesting what they ended up doing with it.
Do you have to did they have to avoid, was it kind of like Alien Isolation, but in Jurassic Park?
What do you mean?
So Alien Isolation, they're continuously avoiding the dinosaurs because bad. And then you said Metroid Dread, and I was thinking of avoiding the EVs because bad.
The EVs.
Yeah, the EVs.
The EVs from Pokemon, you don't know which element they're gonna be.
Wait.
It will be a Flareon
what the fuck were those things called?
Emmys.
Emmys? Emmys. Why did I say EVs? I was like, what the fuck did I do? Okay, the Emmys.
Yeah, so it does. That's the that's the big thing with this one. Yeah, so they get to a new island, and so not only do they have to avoid the dinosaurs that are there, but there's also these robots that take care of the dinosaurs that go through and they try to hunt them down too. So it's just a little bit of A, a little bit of B. So yeah, okay. I guess that's what Alien Isolation's like. Then yeah, definitely.
Actually, I'm sorry. I don't mean to take this back to VR for 1 second, but I actually saw a game based off of the show you're watching.
Oh, really?
And you're having to avoid specific dinosaurs in kind of avoiding the Emmys from Metroid Dread. So I'm curious if this game is kind of something that released alongside the season or something, or was supposed to be released alongside the season.
Very possible. I haven't heard about it.
It's in VR, so I don't know if you would have heard about it. Because that's the thing, they always release VR games, and no one hears about them if they don't play VR.
Well, that makes sense too. Unless they're both.
Yeah, unless they're something like Beat Saber or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but yeah, no, I thought this season was excellent. It definitely sets it up for a season 5. It was really cool, and it better have a season 5 because it doesn't. Fuck Netflix, because this show ended on a massive fucking cliffhanger. So, it was just mind bending. It was very good. And like I said, I think we talked about it before. It's one thing I think is interesting about it is because it is a kid show in some ways, but also it's got some dark themes, definitely some adult stuff. It dwells on some stuff like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, kind of thoughts. So it's interesting to see how they balance all of that out, because it's a really fun show to watch, but then you're just wow, that happened. That's kind of fucked up. So, because they'll kill people still, but they won't show it on screen, and they'll just be oh, okay, they're gone now. Goodbye.
That's all I get away with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But I know the one thing that you did want to hear about, speaking of alternate realities,
yes,
is the new Matrix movie. I actually liked it, I'll say.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was just looking at a meme where somebody was tweeting as Morpheus, saying that the reason that he is bald is so that Ratatouille can't control him.
Oh my god, I found the coolest tapestry on AliExpress. Speaking of Ratatouille, I'll have to show you.
Nick. Yeah, it's so random, Brandon.
All right, but I'm actually genuinely interested what you had to say about Matrix.
Me too.
I've never seen, at least in recent memory, such a polarizing movie, because some people absolutely hate it, and other people absolutely just really enjoy it, and it's never been oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what you are expecting from this movie.
Yeah,
I know DJ didn't like it, and because a lot of it is this movie is very much an exposition movie. It's not a very action heavy movie.
Okay.
Does it have action? Yes. Yes, it still does have action. But it's definitely explaining the story. I think the best way I put this is, because the Matrix trilogy didn't really have a bad ending. I know people didn't necessarily love it, but it was not like Game of Thrones. I think the problems that people had with the ending was mostly that it was not always necessarily what people wanted, but it wasn't a bad ending, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You remember the way the trilogy ended, and this obviously is a setup for this movie, is Zion's going to be attacked by the machines, and the only way the Neo ends up going to save it, but it ends up costing him and Trinity their lives. So they die, but it spurs like a peace between the machines and the people, and then that everyone that is alive is happy now because they're not dying from being killed by machines. So that's how it is. It's just kind of like a bittersweet like hero story. I know we talked about like the kind of themes of the Matrix, but one of the big ones that people always pull out is that it's very reminiscent of like the Bible and like Jesus and things like that. That's just Jesus dies for their sins. Neo ends up dying to save all the people. It's very thematically similar between the two stories, so it does kind of make sense that is how it ends. But people are like they wanted a happy ending for Neo and Trinity, and I feel like this movie is like if you like the Matrix, but you wanted a happier ending, then this is the movie for you, because it just kind of it doesn't retcon anything. It's really interesting the way it all works out, because it does break the fourth wall a lot with like its exposition.
I've been told it's very meta.
Yes, very meta in a lot of different ways. Because some of it is how because Neo and Trinity end up back in the Matrix.
Yeah,
like that's where they start out, and just kind of like, how do I put it? Their recollection of what happened in the original trilogy is treated
like retconning the original trilogy, basically.
No. There's no retconning.
Okay.
As far as I saw, if there is any retconning in this, and I don't know for sure, it is from the Matrix Online.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how that stuff kind of like was handled.
Okay.
But at least from me, who did not play the Matrix Online and was watched the trilogy again after I watched this movie, everything kind of like flows together pretty well. But it's like, how do I put this? They see the events of what happened in the last movie as a form of media entertainment, like a story.
Okay.
So it's they're familiar with it because it's like, oh, I've seen that, I know this, but not like it's their own memories, if that makes sense.
Are they like implanted memories or something?
No, like I just said, it's just like they don't like they're familiar with them because they're like, oh, I've seen that in a movie or whatever. I don't want to go like too. I mean, I can tell you guys. I'll just have to edit it out if you want me to. I don't know if you were planning on watching it or not. And I don't think it's really a big spoiler. Like you find out in like the first 15 minutes.
I'll probably just watch it and find out myself.
Yeah, but we'll see. Like like I said, it's they're familiar with it, so like they don't see what happened in the last movies as something that happened to them. It's something that happened to someone else. Like they know it, but it didn't happen to them. Maybe that explains it a little bit better.
Okay.
As I think of it like a story, like they're familiar with this story, like or it'd be like if I went and saw like a movie about my life, but I didn't realize it was about my life, kind of deal. Anyways, so they're unfamiliar with why they're there, and they just have like their own like I don't know perfect lives or whatever where they are. So, but the premise of the story is how did I say? I saw it explained really well. It's a heist movie, but instead of trying to steal something, they're trying to get themselves out of the Matrix, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they do find Neo pretty early in the movie, and they're like, "Hey, let's get you back out of the Matrix." But then it becomes like, how are we going to get Trinity out, and how are we going to get them back together? That's kind of like where they're going. But this takes place in the future from the original ones, so it's interesting because most of the characters who were in the previous movies could have just been written out by old age if they wanted to. There's only one other character, I believe, from the original trilogy that shows up that's unexpected. And then they do some interesting things with Morpheus. Like they do kind of explain the new Morpheus thing. So why there's a new Morpheus now as opposed to the old Morpheus. And they didn't end up bringing Lawrence Fishburne. I was waiting for it, but it wasn't there. And then they do bring back Agent Smith in an interesting way. I thought it was very interesting. So, but you'll see. As I said, it really, I think what you'll get out of this movie depends on what you're going in and looking for. This is
Okay.
not any of the other Matrix movies at all.
All right.
I said this is like a new ending for the Matrix movies where they're like, let's give a little bit more closure. Let's give, a happier ending. And I think it does like nail all of those things. And I do think probably more so than I think even the original trilogy did. It did open the door for more sequels, much easier if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't necessarily have to, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, it's really, like I said, I can see why people would be very mixed on it. Like I said, I enjoyed it because I did enjoy the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. And I do think that I like the way that they came back together and brought about this new ending. And I do think that is nice. I do like the new characters they brought into it. Mm-hmm. Like Jonathan Groff's character is great. I really enjoyed him. I know some people are love and hate with Neil Patrick Harris, but I actually think that he kind of really nailed his role in this one. And I think he did very well with like who he's playing in it. Yeah. So I think that's pretty nice. But yeah, like, I mean, I generally enjoyed it. Like I said, though, if you're looking for, I can see why people would be disappointed with it. It is a slower movie. It is a lot of exposition. They do like to talk and explain things a lot. And I would say my cousin asked if you needed to like have watched he's like, I'm really familiar with the first movie, but I'm not super familiar with the other two movies. Like I watched them like once or twice, but I don't really remember the details of them. Uh-huh. Do I need to watch them before I watch this one? I'm kind of on the side of yes, but it's not necessary. The movie flashes back a lot and explains a lot of things that happens. But there's a lot of Easter eggs, and there are some like more minute details that you probably wouldn't remember that before. Oh, there is another character that shows up from the old ones, and you totally wouldn't know who he was if you were not familiar with the older movies. So okay. I mean, there is that kind of thing. But is it necessary that you know who it is? No, but you'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool that they put this person here because they were a major character in like Revolutions and Revelation. Was that Revelations?
I don't remember.
Revolutions and Reloaded. That's what it was. Yeah. So you got that. So I said I liked it. I thought it was pretty neat. It is the other thing with this too, I feel like, is the other Matrix movies were all kind of like groundbreaking in some ways. This one, not really. Mm-hmm. And again, I think that's part of like the exposition kind of like bits. But you remember, like the first Matrix was like mind-blowing. Like they did some like incredible cinematography, and the storytelling was like mind-bending, and they tried to match it with like the second and third ones. They did some neat stuff. Mm-hmm. Still kind of top of the line. This was just kind of like retreading what they had already done. So
I'm wondering if that is more just showing the sign of the times than anything, because like when Matrix first came out, like all that shit was revolutionary and like crazy, but like nowadays, like how much more can movies really push the envelope? Because, I mean, half of the movies, like The Matrix, are just heavily flooded with CG. So I feel like at this point, did it have good CG or bad CG?
Yeah. Is it what you're watching believable or not? I mean, I haven't watched the Matrix stuff again. Like, I still think it's incredible how well a lot of that stuff holds up. Okay. Like, because I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know if you've watched them recently.
I haven't. I've been meaning to before watching this one. And then I heard pretty much everyone that I know that liked The Matrix was like, yeah, this movie sucked dick. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll probably watch it at some point, but like...
Yeah, is it a movie that you should rush out?
It really just like took the wind out of my sails where I was just like, oh, all right. Because I was like going to watch it literally the night it released. And then I realized I let my HBO Max subscription run out. And I was like, oh, guess I'm not watching this. And then
the other obnoxious thing is they didn't put it out until 3 a.m. anyways. So, because it wasn't like I was on YouTube that night and like around midnight and it's like out now in theaters at HBO Go. And I was like, sweet. And I like went over to HBO Go and it was not there. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I looked and it was like 3 a.m. is when they were releasing
bastards, you got me.
So yeah, this is it. I mean, I would say, like I said, is it anything like if you like The Matrix and you kind of want to see something new there, but you're not like, I don't know, looking for like this is not an action film. There is action. I would not consider this an action film. There's a lot of talky bits. As I was just kind of exploring it. Oh, and I remember what I was going to say too. And like Lena, I think it was Lena Wachowski was the one that did this one.
Yes.
And she specifically spoke about like writing this movie for her was like a therapy session. Basically, like she was dealing with the death of her parents. And, you know, so like the ideas that she put in this movie were, you know, about like, you know, two people who are like intertwined in love, like, you know, true loves reconnecting, you know, after death and, you know, saving them. And that's kind of what you put in the movie, and that's kind of what you get out of it.
Okay.
So, you know, just keep that in mind too, I guess. Like this is, you know, someone dealing with the death of her parents in a touching universe that they had. And she had said, I even just saw an interview yesterday. Someone asked her if this is the beginning of a new trilogy, and she was like, hell no. Absolutely not. So, listen, they do open the door to it, but like I don't know if that's where that's going. So
I feel like if anything else comes out, you'd probably get something along the lines of like Blade Runner, where like
I feel like you get another game.
Well, that like a game, or like I said, like a Blade Runner, where like maybe she's on as like a producer or something.
Yeah,
but somebody else is making it and they animate it, and it's.
Oh yeah, and they make a shitty animated CG show.
I don't know whether Blade Runner animes shit.
I'm pretty sure it's like awful.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
You want another Animatrix?
Hell yeah, dude!
I don't watch Blade Runner for the anime. I watch Blade Runner for the fucking cinematography. So no, I didn't watch the animes.
There was one anime that was really good. It was made by, I think, the creator of Cowboy Bebop. They did like a thing with Blade Runner, kind of like the Animatrix, back when the new movie released. But instead of like having it all together in a movie, they like released them in shorts online. And one of the shorts was made by the creator of Cowboy Bebop, and that short for Blade Runner was fucking sick. So yeah, I do want another Animatrix, but with Blade Runner.
I mean, Animatrix did some really cool ideas. I actually went back through as like I was watching it, like when I rewatched the trilogy, I paused for a moment when they brought it up, because it happens at the beginning. But there's one of the segments of the Animatrix is like a segue between the first movie and the second and third movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called like the Flight of the Osiris or something. Okay. It was the one that was done by Square Enix, where they did it like in that like CG like animation thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember that.
It was pretty rad. I mean, I honestly, if I remember, like a lot of the stuff that was in the Animatrix, some of it was very conceptual, but some of it was pretty cool. So you just got a nice like mixed bag of like interesting concepts from the Matrix. So yeah, I mean that is what it is. But I do agree. Like I think it's interesting, and I think that the Matrix is something that, you know, like you kind of said, Nick. You know, you bring in, you know, a new director with like some creative vision to kind of like take the franchise in a new direction. I think they could do something really cool there. If they wanted to.
Maybe that tech demo from the Game Awards was
right.
A little bit more than a tech demo.
Yeah, like a testing ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they could, and actually too, I mean the Matrix does have a pretty storied video game history. I remember Enter the Matrix, like that kind of told the story between, I think it was the second and the third movie. So
it did, and no one knew what the fuck was going on. They're like, this isn't based off the movie.
Yeah, because you played as what was it? I think it's Naomi. It's or Nairobi, something. It's something like that. It was Jada Pinkett Smith's character and Ghost, because you like played through like their side stories, like in between, like I think the car chase sequence and when you catch back up to them again in the third movie.
Okay.
So it's an interesting story too, and they actually had like filmed extra scenes from the movies for them too. So I don't know, it's nice. Listen, I think this is an interesting universe, and I'd like to see someone that has some creative ideas coming into it. I definitely do not want them to Star Wars it.
No,
that's a little much. But you know, you have someone come in and do like a hot take. Like I think Jurassic World was kind of like a nice reboot kind of movie, like something more like that. So I don't know. We'll play around with it. Let's say they definitely opened the door for something interesting, I feel like. But I don't know if you guys had any other questions on the movie. You want like any burning questions?
So you never really. You said you liked it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I don't think it's the strongest of like the movies, but I do like it.
Yeah, my next question was literally going to be like, do you think it's a good movie? Even though you like it, do you think from a movie standpoint that it's actually a good movie?
Yes and no. And I think my complaints come down to just like the usual like movie stuff. Like
Okay.
what movie was it we DJ and I watched the other day? And it was always like
I wasn't in your house.
No, I know. It was Don't Look Up. It was on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing a lot. I wanted to watch that, but decided not to.
So my thing with that movie is like, is that movie good? I'd be like, it's okay. But my big problem, it's a 2.5 hour long movie that could be easily trimmed down to 90 minutes. Like it's just got so much extra bullshit in it that doesn't need. And I feel like a lot of movies have like movie bloat these days because like the directors don't want to cut anything. And I think this movie could have done some of that too, where it's just like there are some scenes in there that are not like.
I think that's more so prevalent with Netflix stuff too, because they're like, oh, they can just pause it.
Yeah, just come back to it in a couple days. Like, whatever. And even too, like just going back through that's the one thing when I was going back through like the original trilogy recently too. Like the original Matrix movies were somewhere in like the 2 to 2.5 hour range too. And it's just like, okay, there's some shit in here that doesn't need to be here. It doesn't really add anything. So, I mean, that would be my prior, like, if I was going to complain about one thing, it would be that. And I think the second thing is this movie does rely a lot, like, maybe a little too much on flashbacks sometimes. Because, it's been 20 years since the last movie came out, but don't treat everyone like they've never seen it before. So, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to see
I
this
feel like you're
again.
describing the new Ava movie more so than anything.
Well, I feel like with that, like, if I'm going to go watch The Matrix Resurrection, right, which is the fourth Matrix movie, right, I either need to understand that I'm going to be absolutely lost on things, or I need to do the required watching beforehand.
Yeah. And you'll still be absolutely lost on things.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is
it feels like the fourth Ava movie.
What I'm saying is like, I don't like it when movies that are like the fourth one in waste time on explaining things in great detail, because I think the directors or whoever should just be kind of, in the assumption that if you're seeing this movie, chances are you're invested into this. So like, we don't really need to rehash a bunch of shit.
Did
like,
you
know why I'm here? I know why I don't watch Ava.
Oh, why?
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like I haven't actually watched it myself to give a fair opinion on it, but just off the things that I know about it, like I don't see the appeal of it. And there's a lot of weird things in it that I'm like, the director's like, I did this because it's an allegory for this. And I'm like, that's great, but you didn't have to do it that way. I don't know.
That was the anime, and that was
I have a feeling I'm gonna go watch it, and it's gonna be like how when I watched Akira, and I was like, this movie's shit. So. Because Akira is shit, but it looks pretty. It's pretty shit. You ever look at like a turd that was laid, and you're like, wow, that's coiled very nicely. My compliments to the chef.
I don't agree with you. I think Akira's fantastic.
That's fine. I don't. I think it's bad. I think it's very bad, overhyped media. But
is it because you were overhyped, or do you honestly think like the story isn't good? Because I thought the story was really. Good.
I don't think the story is well written and it's just not good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Huh.
I don't like
Interesting.
It. Yeah. So.
Wonder what other bad anime takes you have.
I think Code Geass is shit.
Oh, that's a strong bad anime take right there, my dude.
Yeah, Code Geass is not good.
All right, give me some more. This is fun.
Trying to think. Well, give me. I don't know, because like
I got one.
Those are like the two main ones that I can think of.
I've got one.
What's that?
The best Ghibli movie is the Lupin the Third film.
Haven't seen it, but in my opinion, the best Ghibli movie is Nausicaa.
Watch the Lupin the Third film. It's really fucking good.
Is that the new one?
No, it's from '86.
Yeah. I Nausicaa is the best one. I also don't think Ghibli is as good as everybody makes him out to be.
No, they're not.
No.
The people that do silent voice are infinitely better, and the people that do Summer Wars are infinitely better.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, and my favorite anime film. I'm sorry, Mike. We're just on a tangent. I'm so sorry. My favorite anime film is Everything by Satoshi Kon, but also Wolf Children. Wolf Children's fucking fantastic.
I think my favorite is The Boy and the Beast. If you've ever watched that.
I think Wolf Children and The Boy and the Beast are made by the same people.
No, maybe actually that might be true. Boy and the Beast is a fantastic movie that you should watch.
Same people. Yep, same people, same studio.
Yeah, so.
I have not actually seen that one, but I do highly recommend watching Wolf Children. It's fucking phenomenal. And then, if you've never seen anything by Satoshi Kon, go watch Satoshi Kon.
I'm pretty sure I have. Name some of his big stuff.
Come
on.
Paranoia Agent.
No. Hold on.
That's the one with the kid in the baseball bat. Inline skates.
No. Let's see if I can
Perfect
see.
Blue.
Come on, where's his movies?
Tokyo Godfathers.
Apparently he did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. No, I don't know any of these movies.
Damn.
Yeah.
Go watch Satoshi Kon films. That's my takeaway. Perfect Blue, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika. Paprika is actually a movie that released in 2006, right? Uh-huh. And then another movie that released in, I believe it was 2011. Let me double check. 2010. A movie that released in 2010 stole everything from Paprika, and it's one of the most well-known live-action movies ever made. So, Inception is literally a bootleg of Paprika. Okay, Satoshi Kon made Inception, and then fucking what's his name? Christopher Nolan just was like, you know what, Satoshi Kon? No, I made this, and he just took it and made Inception instead, because Paprika is quite literally the plot to Inception, but in animated format, and it released 4 years before it. So there's that.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is go watch Satoshi Kon's films and get back to me.
Yeah, no, I'll do that eventually.
So
that means you too, Mike. That means you too.
All right, I'll find something. Does he have stuff on Netflix? Do you know?
I don't know actually where his films are.
I could probably just use the Apple app and see.
All right, where is Tokyo Godfathers streaming? Because it's like the holidays. It's like Christmas. It's a little past Christmas, but this is a Christmas movie, and it's very, 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 very good. I've never heard of this place. You can get it on Apple TV for $4.99 for a rental. I guess that's a thing.
Let me see.
Oh wait, Amazon. Nope, that's a rental or a purchase for $15. Damn, man, why you gotta make it so difficult?
Let me see. Tokyo Godfather?
Yeah, Tokyo Godfathers.
There's the movie. Let's see what it says. Oh, it looks like it's on Hoopla.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know either. I've never heard of it before. But it is only like $3 to rent on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
Okay, check that out in Perfect Blue. Like, Perfect Blue's like the more psychological thriller focused one, and Tokyo Godfathers is a very heavily drama based story that's very, very well done, and for the age that it was made during, it is very groundbreaking. Because he liked to push boundaries with things.
Okay.
Because essentially, Tokyo Godfathers is about 3 homeless people on Christmas Eve, and it's kind of fucking amazing. Anyway, moving on. Let's go. Let's wrap this up. Is there news? I don't think so. Fuck it.
No, I don't think there's news. So, unless you guys have anything else to talk about, I think we're good to wrap up.
Yeah, no, I don't really got anything.
All right. Well then, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, or our website, game-crunch.com. If you reach out to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon?
Yeah?
Any final thoughts?
Just go watch some Satoshi Kon films. They're really good.
Okay. Let's see what I can find. Nick?
I've got nothing.
All right. Well, with that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming consoles. Until next week, game on.
Game on.
Game. Hello.
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 Howdy.
Yahoo.
Whoopee.
Let's go.
Wow.
Yep. Hey guys.
Hello.
What's up?